describe the sensation of waking up in the middle of as Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, very exciting. I mean, it was very exciting to be cast. It was very exciting having had a bit of a circuitous route into it, not thinking that I was going to do it, then thinking I couldn't do it because of other obligations, and then being told that Pete had rearranged it so that I could do it was a great compliment. And so that was, for me, that was the main, hammer blow. That was kind of wow, so that I'm going to do it. I mean, once we'd got there, that was amazing. But for me, the absolute kicker was knowing that it could happen at all in the first place, because I thought it wasn't going to be able to happen. So it was a lovely moment when I found out I could do it. Not only could I do it, but he had moved quite a lot of stuff around in order for me able to do it.
There was only ever going to be one person who was going to be cast in this role, and that was him.
And he couldn't do it.
And
John Sim couldn't do it. Yeah.
No, and it was Martin. You were. I mean, I knew about it before you did.
You did.
I bumped into you in the street.
Yeah,
in
totally.
Soho.
Yeah, years ago. Andy, we bumped into each other, and Andy said, "Listen, has anyone talked to you about playing Bilbo Baggins?" And I was like, "Well, no. Not, I mean, I've seen stuff on the internet. And people have said that kind of thing, but no one's ever made actual overtures." And he went, "Well, keep your because I think it was." Yeah, he gave me a heads up about 7 years ago.
As we begin this adventure, from the very beginning now, how do you come in with Bilbo Baggins as who he is as he begins before bravery, and how do we start with a regressed Gollum a little bit?
Well, Bilbo is, I guess, in many ways, in the book and in the film, he is the audience. He's the one who is most likely to be like the people who are coming to see the film. Because he's the most human in a way, compared to dwarves and Gollum and elves. I guess he's the one who's most recognisably like us. So he's a kind of, he's a home-loving, homebody, likes his comforts, isn't particularly brave, isn't particularly adventurous, would never have had a fight in his life. He's a man who just likes a peaceful life. So that's pre-journey, Gollum, and he changed Gollum. I do play Gollum in this.
Because you can't tell because it's motion capture, so he actually does both roles. He actually plays both roles. In this
he was
film.
so annoyed.
Just his bodyguard.
He was so annoyed. He came along to play Gollum and it had already been recast. So he goes on a tremendous quest. From being a sort of home-loving person to someone who gets to, fight and kill and nearly die, which is something he would never have seen himself as. It's a very interesting part to play.
And so, before you tackled the role, did you look back at Ian Holm's performance at all to maybe try and mirror it? And Andy, did you look back at any of the performances from the past 3 films?
It's an interesting one. I mean, because actually in The Hobbit, Gollum is Gollum. He's not really written as Gollum Smeagol. But so that was a decision that Peter and Philippa and Fran and I made, that we'd retain that kind of that schizophrenic character that we built up in Lord of the Rings. But going back to your point about kind of regress, I mean, at this point he has been on his own in the Misty Mountains for about 500 years, and 540 to be precise, and. But it's obviously, and he's become more craven and connected to the ring. And in this scene, it's a huge scene because, of course, it's the scene where he loses it and Bilbo finds it and takes it. So from this point on, his life is destroyed. The one thing he cares about is taken away from him. And so it was. But then the kind of the Smeagol side of him was actually really quite thrilled to see another human being, to see someone he could have a chat with and have a few little games of riddle. So it was a really nice kind of contradiction, and to play that sort of real kind of the panic and the lust for the ring and the anger and wanting to kill him, but also actually quite enjoying his company for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry,
the Ian part.
Yes, I did look at Ian's stuff. I did. He's a pretty good model for it. And so I did. I certainly was quite detailed in checking him out, and just for the bits I could use. Bits I could use where it's helpful, but not to an unhelpful degree. Not to a degree that makes me think, well, I've got to do that because Ian did that. But because Bilbo would have changed over 50 or 60 years. So little mannerisms I can keep, but other ones I can invent. It was, still felt quite free.